You're watching Conversations with Jennylyn. And not so long ago, I shared the beautiful woman on the opposite end of the screen with you. And I promised to bring her back. And here she is because she has so much to share with us. And there's not enough time. And since it's the holiday season, we're both busy and she could afford tonight, I'm thrilled. So, Heather, welcome back.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
You are watching Conversations with Jennylyn. When a conversation is all you need to be inspired, and boy, do we have a lot of inspiration for you tonight. I ask each of you as you watch this to please keep an open mind. I know it's difficult sometimes when we've believed something our entire lives to have it shattered. But I want to leave you with a question before you continue to watch this video, if you choose to. And that is, would you rather believe a lie that it's probably not serving you? Or would you rather know the truth so that you can make choices that can protect you and your loved ones? So just think about that. And Heather, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So tonight, I think what I'm sharing is I have a drawing here to help illustrate it. What I'm going to share tonight is just what I've channeled around what my guides call the collapse of the four pillars. And I channel a group of cosmic beings. I've been channeling them for about almost 4 years now, and they're so beautiful. They're always wanting to help us in our human journey. I channel soul contracts and people's mission and purpose, and the reasons behind their experiences, the reasons why you had the experiences you had with your caregivers, children, and partners. And it's so beautiful, it's so amazing, it's so healing. And a lot of times what comes through, I get a lot of clients that are in one of the four pillars. And the four pillars that are collapsing around the globe are Western medicine. Can I even say that? Because I got blocked on my other channel for that. Okay. Political structures, banking and finance, and education, which they say is the most corrupt system. I knew none of this. I knew none of this before I started channeling. So it's nothing in life is accident. And what I've learned is that most of my business, majority, 95% of my business is through referrals because it's so deep and healing. And the universe tends to bring me people who are, many of my clients are making the step from the old system to the new system. We are all here right now to witness the new paradigm coming in, which I'm going to talk about tonight. And when I meet people that are in the old systems, one of those four pillars, a lot of times they come to me and they say, this isn't feeling right anymore. I got into Western medicine to heal people. I got into it to help people. Something's off. I'm feeling like I'm being guided out. And what I channel for them is that they are here to, many of us have been called into these systems to learn them inside and out. I came from banking and finance, learn them inside and out, and then we wake up to our mission and purpose here, which is to leverage our knowledge and our skill set from the old systems, you too, Jennylyn, and then create a bridge to help start creating the new world, which is what we're here to do, to support us. Because the systems and structures, this is all channeled. I know none of this. I have since done a little bit of research just to understand what they're showing me, but this is not for me. But the old systems and structures were put in place to control us thousands of years ago. And they've just evolved and morphed over time to be relevant in the time that we're at. So they're changing, and we're meant to, as human beings, we're meant to live, my guides say, in harmony with each other, supporting each other, family trades that, and we trade things and we barter. But what's happened is, thousands of years ago, and we can see it today, our resources are pulled to support this global pyramid, which I'm going to show in a minute. Our resources, our attention, our energy. If you think about it, you go to work at least 40 hours a week. I worked 60, 70, 80 hours a week. You don't see your family. You're not doing things you love. You're not learning a new language. You're not traveling. You're working for one of these systems. Might not be these four, but a system that is supporting this global pyramid. And when you start to look at it, you realize I'm dedicating all of my time. My family's dedicating all their time. Our children are in school. What are they being taught? All to help us get into the system to support this global pyramid. So I'm going to pull over this whiteboard.
Before you go, Heather,
Go ahead.
before you go to that, did you say your videos were pulled down for using the WM words?
So the third video I did in the series on TikTok was about medicine, and it was pulled. And you'll see, I'll talk about it, not today, I'm going to talk about that in a different video, but you'll see it's high level. It's not, my guides bring in information that's not biased. They're just bringing in information, and people can make their own decisions based on that. But they pulled the medicine one down for some, because there was a threat to the system. So they pulled that one down. It's on Instagram and on my YouTube, but TikTok pulled it down.
Okay, because we want to make sure we're not using words. I've already had my hand slapped once. And just before you continue, if you're watching this, here are your cues for the information that you're being told is misinformation, but are the facts. Anytime your stuff is being censored and pulled down, every single content producer is saying the same thing. These particular videos are being pulled down. Those are the ones you want to watch because therein lies the truth and someone doesn't want you to know. So that's why they're pulling it down. Continue, Heather. But we need to come up with some words to use so that we don't get stuff pulled down.
Okay. I was thinking of just saying meds.
Okay, all right.
Meds.
Okay.
But I don't know what it was in that video that caused it to be pulled down, because I'm pretty good. I try really hard not to use trigger words, and they don't use them. So I don't know what it was, but it was threatening enough to pull down. I think it was because I was talking about, I would guess, I asked multiple times, please share with me, what did I violate? They won't tell me, of course. I think it was because I was talking about natural meds versus man-made, and that's the whole point of all of this, is that we're being kept from knowing ancient proven techniques that heal our bodies, and instead of going to meds, man-made meds, they have hidden the other thing, the natural meds from us, because there's no money in that. So that's not in today's video, but just to comment on what you said.
And by the way, have you found a new definition of freedom of speech? I've been trying to find it. Sorry.
The one that they want us to live by? No, I don't know.
No, I'm perplexed. I was hoping you had found it so you could help me.
We're allowed freedom of speech to say anything we want as long as it doesn't go against what they're telling us.
Right, exactly.
So there we go. And that's why everything's a double-edged sword. My guides say the internet, it's if you think about 100 years ago, we really only had access to what we're being told, and that's why education, they say, is the most corrupt. It's the coolest one to channel, because I cannot believe how corrupt it is. It's crazy, and I'll share that in one of these videos. But we only 100 years ago had access to what they had in whoever's in charge puts in the books. You have to ask, who's writing these books, and who's to benefit from people following what's in these books, and why is there a specific curriculum across the board that everyone has to learn, and your kids have to go to school. So 100 years ago, we didn't have access to alternate forms of information, and we do now. And so it's a really beautiful time, honestly, to be here on the planet, because it's up to us to discern what truth is. And sometimes something might not resonate with you. You can leave it, move on. Maybe it's not vital for you and how you want to live your life, but it's up to us now to discern what's truth. And that's what I try to share on TikTok, is what I'm channeling, which is truth. There's no ulterior motive here. It's just sharing the background of where this stuff came from, and then people can do their own research. I always tell people, and I'll say it again here for everyone, do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Go do your own research. Just know that if you use the common forms of like internet search engines like Google and stuff, they're owned by all the same people that own all these systems.
Exactly.
So you have to do your own research. And I'm a big promoter of Gaia. It's a channel / app, GAIA. There's a lot of whistleblowers on there, truth tellers on there, and it's its own thing. It's not on mass media. It's its own thing, and you'll find a lot. So do your own research. Don't take my word for it.
And can I interject really quickly before you start illustrating that? If you have not seen the first video I did with Heather, I want you to know what she's sharing with us is not her opinion. She has been given this information. Tell us how you get the information for those, if someone hadn't seen the first segment.
Okay, so I'm an open channel. I started channeling about 4 years ago, and I didn't know what was happening at first. I was getting psychic downloads for strangers in public. Fast forward, this is what I do for a living now, heatherjbryant.com. You can go and check all of that out. The whole story is on there about all of that. But I'm channeling this group of cosmic beings. They have revealed a couple of themselves to me. I don't know all of them. And when it's ready, they start revealing more to me. You know, we get what we can handle at the time. And they tell me that besides my day job, which is channeling people's soul contracts, life experience, life blueprint, we create a life blueprint before we come. We know all of this stuff is here before we come. We still come. That's what I talk about in my videos. But they are telling me that they wanted me to get on TikTok, specifically on other channels, to share this information to help, I guess, plant the seeds for people to start questioning what's going on. Because when you start questioning what's going on, you can see beyond the illusion of what's been created for us. So what they're saying right now is that the globe is going through a global awakening. You're being called, Jennylyn, to do more, to get information out. I've lost a lot of friends and family.
I am being called to do this. Wow.
Yes, of course you are. Of course you are. You feel it. I'm confirming it. Of course you are. And that's the thing. When we're called to do something, that's where I get a lot of my clients come to me because they feel this pull, but they need confirmation. And then I channel their soul contracts, which is, yep, it's time now to move into the next stage. This is where you at. You're moving into you're taking your knowledge of your previous life's experience, in this life, what you did before, and you're bridging and pulling from that and now sharing other people's stories to get truth out. I'm a truth teller, you're a truth teller. So we're being called to do this. And because the more people that wake up and start stepping into their sovereignty as human beings, we're souls in a human body. We just forgot why we come here, because it would make life very difficult if we remembered why all the things before. When we step into our sovereignty through knowledge, through choosing our belief systems, through seeking truth, the matrix starts to break. It can't hold up anymore. And so my guides are saying, I'm just one of many people that I came here for this. This is in my soul contract, to wake up out of the blue and start channeling, so that I can not to force anyone to change their belief system, but to plant seeds and then say, now, if something resonates with you, go and do some research, because everybody's going to find their own. What I find when I do my research is going to be different than you and someone else, based on what we need individually for our life to make a difference. So when you go do your own research and you say, I'm ready for truth, the universe, God, will bring you the information you need. So that's why they're doing it. It's to help with the global awakening, really. And they're saying that it's so cool. We can do sessions, we can do another videos about this, but they're saying again that many souls incarnated right now because they want to watch what's happening, because we've been here many times before. I didn't believe in this before. I did not believe one iota about reincarnation, but I've been shown that it's real. They keep it from us on purpose, and that's in the religion video. But many souls have incarnated here, me, you, many, to say, I want to be here to watch all of the work that I've done in previous lives. And I want to watch the fall of these systems, because I've contributed to the fall many times before. We're here to contribute in this lifetime. And when you plant the seeds, when I plant the seeds of truth and they start growing, people start to wake up and almost remember, like, oh, that's right. Something doesn't feel right here. I'm supposed to be doing something. What am I supposed to be doing? I don't remember. And it helps people to wake up. So the more people that wake up to at least taking control of their own life and choosing the belief system that they want to believe, not based on what your parents said or your religion said or school said or your boss says, the more people can wake up.
And I just want to reiterate before she continues that Google and the mainstream media are not the places where you will find the truth. You will find exactly what you're hearing every day on the television, which in my opinion, based on all my research, is not the truth.
Let me show you.
Yes.
I am not an artist. I'm not an artist. This is the vision that they gave me. I drew it the best I could. Okay, we'll start up here. So let's see, hold on. This is the global pyramid of control. Just like any corporation, there are people on this planet that are actually running the whole planet based on this pyramid, based on a pyramid structure. So we'll say any corporation. We'll just say big corporation. Any business really. There's someone who owns it, right? Or someone who owns the corporation or the CEO. They make all the money, right? And people below them make a little bit less, a little bit less, a little bit less. They tell everyone below them what to do until we get to the bottom level of all the bottom level employees, like the teller of a bank versus the CEO. All of the stuff, all of the, SHIT rolls downhill, right? It comes to the bottom. Everyone at the bottom is doing all of the work so that everyone at the top can benefit from it. This is exactly how the world is being ran. When they showed this to me, I was like, what? What are you talking about? So what they are saying is, sorry, I'm trying to get this in view. There are people at the top here who have been in charge of everything for thousands of years. They just pass the baton down through their generational families. This planet is family ran, bloodline ran. Go do your own research. You'll see who they are. Some of them we might never know, and it doesn't matter. My guide said it doesn't matter who they are. Just understand what's happening. So we've got I call them the powers that were, because it's falling. It's not, it's breaking. We're all here to help with it. The powers that were, right? They tell their mid-high level people what they want done, and it passes down to low-level management. Low-level management is over all of the systems and structures on the planet that pull our resources, pull our attention, pull our energy. The 4 pillars that they say, the main ones that are collapsing: political structures, these are pillars, banking and finance, man-made meds, and education. Education's the most corrupt because that's where it starts. So if you think about it from a high-level perspective, when you're born, you come out of the womb, 95% of people, at least in even semi-advanced countries, gets put into the system, right? As soon as you're old enough to go to the bathroom on your own, you're in the system. And you're learning what? What are you learning? This is all from them. This is not me. I know none of this stuff. You're learning what they want you to learn, right? So what do they need you to learn? When you go down the rabbit hole and you do your own research, I'll give you the cliff notes. What you'll find is that our current education system was created by one of the bloodlines that runs the globe. They also created man-made med system. So go connect the dots on your own, do the research. I probably shouldn't say it for the video. So that might have been why mine was taken down. So the same people, one of the bloodlines that owns that is running everything also created man-made meds. So you go into school. They also created the education system. So you go into school when you're 5 years old and you start learning what? Well, if you think about it, you're learning all the things necessary to become a good little worker, right? A good little soldier. You go into a corporate job, and guess what? There's a 401k and a retirement plan that gets a carrot that gets hung in your face and says, hey, keep going, keep going. So you learn math, you learn, there's things that are helpful, but you learn how the world works based on someone's idea of what they want you to know. So I remember back in school, we learned about the solar system. We learned about we learn how to obey rules. Sports teaches you to stay in line and learn structure and authority, right? So this whole system is set up from 5 years old, 4 years old, 3 years old, depending on how old you go in school, to start creating the belief systems that you need to know so that when you get out, when you're an adult at 18, you get to go, and many people are told go to college to further your information so that you can really go support the system. Some people don't do that, but they've got you for 18 years learning what they want you to know for what? And you have to ask yourself, this is what my guides say. Down here, I don't know if you can see, I've got little people unhappy with suitcase or briefcases and sitting at a computer. So you leave at 18 years old and you go work in the system. Some people become entrepreneurs, but not many, because that's not what we're taught, right? We're taught to use a 10 key. We're taught how to use a computer. We're taught all the necessary skills to go work for someone else, okay? So then we are 18 and we graduate and either go to college, which is education, still education, and you get into maybe $50, $100, $200,000 in debt, and then maybe you can use your degree, maybe you can't. My guides tell me that, yes, you need a degree. I was raised on this. You need to go get a degree, because the mindset from our parents and our parents and our parents beyond them was you need a degree in order to make a living. Well, where does that come from? Who's telling us this? You always have to ask yourself when you go do your own research for any of this, who's benefiting from this? How am I benefiting? And then who's benefiting from teaching us this, right? So at 18 years old, you get into the system and you go work for one of these pillars or somewhere else. And then, we know what happens. You take home 75% of your paycheck, and then you go and you pay for electricity, and you pay for water, and you pay for gas, so you can keep going back and forth to work. And then you got 20% of your paycheck left. And then what do you do with that, right? What's happening is we're working for a system. They're taking our time and our energy and our money to support this global pyramid. So we know that there's trillionaires and billionaires on this planet, right? And there's also homeless people and people dying of starvation. Why is there such a disparity? It's because we're holding all of this up through us participating in these systems, which holds up this global pyramid. Once we stop participating in these systems, they have no more money from us. They can't keep taking from us. It's not just the money. That's a side piece. It's our attention and our energy. If we're distracted, 40 hours a week in school and 40 plus hours a week in work, and then we get home and we're exhausted, and we make dinner, and we put our kids to bed, and we go the next day, we start over, and then we have 2 days on the weekend to hopefully recoup and do our errands. If we're busy supporting the system, we're not thinking about what we want to live, or how we want to live our life. Well, what brings us joy? If I could create and do anything, what would it be? We're distracted on purpose, which brings me to the glue that keeps all of this together. And I do separate videos for each of one of these, but I can get into one of them today if we have time. Let me know. But the glue that holds us all together. Why should I participate in these things? Well, the media tells us all these things that are going on in the world. Look, we're getting ready to go to recession. Spend. Go spend more money. Right? Or like, I'm not a political person, so I don't know all the things. But the media tells us, it's been proven. Do your own research. That there's literally people. I've watched videos of people whistleblowing who are hired actors, and they say, look, here's me in a news video, and they show the news video promoting some type of illness. Here's me promoting some type of school agenda, and it's a different name every time, same person. They literally hire people to promote an agenda to keep us believing certain things, right? So there's the media, there's law enforcement. So if we don't obey, somebody has the authority to do something to us, right? Our money can be taken from us. We could go to jail, right? So there's fear here. Religion is the biggest one, and I know that's a really big trigger. And I'm talking about the business of religion. I'm not talking about God. I'm not talking about Jesus or Buddha or ascended masters. I'm talking about the business of religion, which is a whole new topic, a whole topic on its own. And then Hollywood. This was really interesting, because I started channeling Hollywood. My guides told me to, and I said, I don't care about Hollywood. So channeling takes a lot of energy. I can only do like one client a session a day, because it takes so much energy to connect. I'm using my body to channel. So I'm like, I'm going to be using my body to channel something that I don't care about. And then they showed me it's to help with the awakening. And they showed me that Hollywood was created when religion started failing. So they're like, people are starting to wake up to, there's certain areas of churches. I'm being really careful with my words, where abuse has become very, very known. There's documentaries about this. There's tons of proof around the globe of how there's certain sects of church and religions who are under fire, right? So once our people started waking up and going, wait a minute, this doesn't feel right, they created Hollywood. So they didn't really replace, but you gotta think about, that's pretty extreme, right? So instead of revamping this and putting people in jail that are doing wrong, because that's what we should be doing, right? They go free, and we just create Hollywood and distract them over here. So they said they created Hollywood because, when you have religion, you've got people that you're admiring, right? Jesus, God, whatever the religions are, that there's people that you admire. So when people started moving away from that, they started creating people that we could admire in Hollywood. So we're going to create a shiny system, and it's a gazillion-dollar industry. I was in the grocery store tonight and got a download looking at all these magazines of all of these celebrities. You're paying $12 for a magazine to read about strangers' lives that you're never gonna meet. But why do we care so much? We care so much because they put it in our, they make us care. But when you start to look at, or they guide us to, it's our choice, right? You have a choice how much you're going to care and how much money you're going to put into the system. But when where this started was they wanted to create celebrities so that they could use celebrities to promote agendas, because each one of these is his own video, but religion, there's good and there's bad, there's evil and there's righteousness, there's heaven and hell, right? You better be careful if you question anything, if you push the envelope, you're bad, you get gaslit, you could go to hell, right? It's a system of control. So Hollywood, we've got celebrities pushing agendas for whatever they want. Medicine, man meds, insurance, whatever. Turn on the TV, you'll see all types of celebrities. So the more that we feed Hollywood by caring about this, buying the magazines, going to the theme parks, whatever it is, we aren't paying attention to our own lives. We're not paying attention to, where am I spending my money? Where am I spending my time? Instead of spending it with my family, instead of looking for a job that actually lights me up and utilizes my natural skill set, instead of sucking all my energy to support someone at the top, I'm fueling all of my energy into things that have nothing to do with me. This is by design, right? That's why the news is here. I'm going to pause and just see if there's any questions, or if you want me to go into deeper one of these things before I move on.
I think you're doing a great job illustrating exactly what you were given. I must say your guides must communicate very clearly with you, because you've given us a really clear and great picture of what's going on. The only question I have is, I could see how so many people watching this will wonder why no one has caught on to any of this. And why should they believe that you are getting a download that it's from a good source? Because every single thing that has sort of paved our way throughout our lives is now being called into question.
I know, no kidding. Well, first of all, I have to say I get it, because my mind was blown when they started showing this stuff. The first thing I'll say is, don't believe me. Don't believe me. Go do your own research.
But Heather, could you remind them again where to go? Because when you tell people research, the first thing they do is they go to Chrome onto Google.
Right.
So please reiterate where people can find information that is not coming from the same source as mainstream media.
Right. Oh my God, there's so much just with that question. Okay, so that's a good question. How it works for me, let me just share, is I didn't know any of this stuff. I believed all of this. I had no idea. I mean, this is so clear. They illustrated it so clear for me. And what they say, side note real quick, is the only thing that's keeping this up, that's allowing them to control us, is us. We're the ones doing it. And so
Yeah.
we don't even realize.
Right.
So when I first started getting information brought to me, I would get it like a download. And and I would get this information from my guides. And then it would follow up within a week or two of something popping up on YouTube or I use Brave. You can use Brave as the search engine I use, Brave. But it's really beautiful because, again, my guides say that it's not up to us, just up to us. When you set the intention, I'm ready for truth, and then you start on the path taking the action steps to find it, it will come to you. It will come. It could come from somebody. You might meet someone at the coffee shop that is a professor somewhere that's done 25 years of research in one of these categories and starts giving you the information there. Like, it's going to come to you. But where I found that I get a lot of information that I run across my truth meter, and I ask my guides, which is your truth meter. You know, I know not everyone can hear these cosmic beings like I can, but you can learn to use your truth meter. It doesn't feel like fear. It'll be a soft yes or a soft no, which I teach, but is Gaia, Gaia. Yes, it's a paid membership because it's not mass media, you know. But Gaia has a lot of really brilliant people who are in these systems, who are whistleblowing, right? Who are bringing 90,000 pages of CIA documents out, you know, that have been released but hidden, using Brave. And then also I've seen a lot of stuff on TikTok and YouTube.
Yes, that's where I found you, and it's free.
TikTok, YouTube is free. And now people are careful about what they say a little bit because, you know, they get censored, free speech, right? So you have to wonder if someone's getting censored. Sometimes I'll go research stuff and I'll see that the articles have been taken down and pictures have been taken down. And I'm like, it's obvious to me, but you have to ask yourself, like you said at the beginning, why would they do that? Why would they do that? If they cared so much about our well-being, we already know, like we can already see in our daily lives that our money's not going to help us, right? Like a new sidewalk in our city is not where our billions of dollars in each city's or in each state's taxes are going, right? Like where is it going? How and this is one of the videos, but how are our political people that are supposed to be helping us, how do they have a salary of 150,000 but they've got a $10 million mansion? What's going on here, right? You can see it for yourself, you know, you can start seeing it. But what I will say for about TikTok is that I think TikTok gets a bad rap, and there's a reason for that, right? It's coming from somewhere. It's coming from somewhere.
Can I tell you what my opinion is right on that topic?
Yeah.
For the longest time, I would not go on TikTok. I had a girlfriend who would send me videos, and just like everyone else, I was going along with the multitudes. Like everybody is saying the Chinese are monitoring you. And then one day I just, something, maybe it's my guides, I just don't know, when it's them speaking to me, I heard this voice say, and you don't think you're being monitored? You have an iPhone. And so I thought, you know what? This is stupid. Why am I believing this? And so I went on TikTok, and within a week, I confirmed my suspicion. TikTok gets a bad rap because they don't want people going on there because it's not as censored, although it's becoming more so, and you will find information that is factual there. And so all the people within 2 weeks that I really liked got their videos pulled on constantly. And it's because the material they were putting out was really resonating with my soul. And one particular guy, Sean, I interviewed him right before you. Every time he gets 1 million subscribers, they pull him down. And he just opens up another one and they'll say, you know, I'm getting all these tickets or whatever, they're going to pull me down. You can find me here. And that's how I know who's bringing us the truth. And the truth as in what they don't want us to know. And the question is, if there is something they don't want us to know, why? And that's how I found you, and that's why we're doing this.
Totally.
So don't be afraid to go to TikTok, people. Don't be afraid to go to TikTok, because if you're not going because you think the Chinese are monitoring you, they're probably monitoring you if you have a smartphone. Your opinion, but there you go.
Well, what my guides say, what they're saying right now, actually they're nudging me. Everything's monitored all the time. If you have any smart devices at all, then you're capable of being monitored. Have you ever, and this has happened to me, have you ever, I'll just share a story and see if it resonates. I was with some friends and we were talking about, one of the girls was wearing a really cute pair of shoes, and we're talking about how cute we thought the shoes were. We're asking where she got them, and she told us. And later that night, we all got ads on our phone for those shoes. It's like, we weren't even on our phones. So it's, that might be very, very triggering for people, but we are, no matter when, like, everything's being monitored. You go and you use a search engine for something, and then you start getting ads for that thing, right? So anytime, and if you want to go research who Edward Snowden is, he's a whistleblower for the government who has shared. I've actually heard him speak. He said that he would be in his office and people were literally on computers plugging into real people like you and me through their computer, through their phone, through their TV, and watching their lives. So there's that. And I guess what I would say is, don't have fear. Try not to live in a feeling of fear. That's what my guides say a lot, is that, again, we knew all this before we came. We knew we're going to be, what it was like. We still chose to come and try to operate from try to seek more ways to find joy and love. Because when you live in fear, that's how you're able to be controlled, right? This is exactly how they control us, is through fear and division, which we saw the last handful of years, and it's been happening for all of time. So going back to just making sure everybody knows, I think YouTube's got a lot of great content, and use your discernment, right? Use your discernment. If you get triggered, say, why is this triggering me? If it's because it goes against what you believe, then you're on the right track. Then keep peeling back the onion. What is the threat? What is the threat to that belief system? Why is it so deep? Because what my guides say is that if you start to realize that that you've been lied to about something, they're giving me some examples, and I don't think I should say them. So if you feel like you've been lied to about something, then you start to question, what else have I been lied to about? Okay, so okay, I'm just gonna say, and this could trigger a lot of people, but did we land on the moon? Yes or no? My guides say it doesn't matter. But could we have been lied to? If you believe we landed on the moon, or you don't believe we landed on the moon, but you find something that threatens that belief system, then you could say to yourself, well, what else have I been lied to about? Because that's a really big thing. I've been believing that for 50 years. So it's the threat that our reality could shatter when we start to realize that maybe just one thing has been a lie, and cognitive dissonance comes into play, and our human ego wants to go back into a comfortable feeling of just blindly going forward as we've been told. And so there's a resistance to a lot of times when you are encountered with truth. So I say, be patient, be loving with yourself, because it is a mind blow when you start going down the rabbit hole, because most of what we've been told isn't real, isn't true. And we create it, we allow it because we're told it's real. So we keep participating in it. And so it is real, right? But we can withdraw our participation. And that's a whole nother topic. How do you do that, and all of that? But in the
Can I
next
interrupt
video,
you for one quick second? And so
yeah.
those people who are afraid of Gaia and TikTok and all these channels because they feel like somehow they're going to be monitored. One of the people I interviewed on my television show 5 or 6 years ago was the first scientist of Amazon. Amazon's first scientist. His name is Andreas Weisgen. He's German, clearly. Weisgen is the last name. And he has written a book called Data for the People. Go get that book. And we can't live fear-based lives. If you are willing to go on YouTube or any social media platform, you are probably being more monitored. You can continue, Heather.
Okay. Well, in the next videos, I'll get into each one of these, because each one of these has its own explanation for where it came from and why it exists and what to do to help create the new world. Because really, from a high level, where all of this is going is that these systems were created to take from the many to support the few. Okay, there's one teacher for 40 students, there's one CEO for hundreds of thousands of people. We're all supporting this, and they are below low-level management. Low-level management don't participate. They're the ones who are calling on the shots here. They're the ones that tell what the curriculum is going to be. They're the ones that approve or don't approve. You know, there's documentaries out here now about this, about the man meds that became a big problem, and people became became a problem for people, and now they're pulling them from the market, right? This was all orchestrated, and it's coming from these people, right, for their own benefit. So how this all happened was, none of this existed, and what they did was they started they put people in control that started telling us we need to live this way, and if we don't live this way, religion's going to put us in line, right? Then they created the media to support all of it. Then they created political structures and law and other things that force you to participate in it, right? And so everyone just kind of started being corralled like cattle, and thousands of years go by and multiple reiterations of this, and this is just how this, anyone alive on the planet today besides these people, it's all we've ever heard of. So it's the only system that we believe in. So we have to give ourselves some, again, patience and love, because this isn't just like one generation old. This is generations and generations and generations. Anything that goes against this has been buried or burned. And all of these, there's a lot of texts from ancient texts that talk about this stuff, that talk about the powers that be, that are now starting to come to surface. Some of that stuff's on Gaia, but it's been hidden for a long time. And thanks to technology, people are coming out. And you asked me something earlier, or you mentioned something earlier. I'm not the only one talking about this. This is new for me. Again, this is brand new. I just started learning this stuff through my guides. There are tons of people out there, not just people who are waking up to the systems and trying to expose it like Sean. There are people who are in the systems, in the political structures, in religion, in man meds and education, that are coming out saying, I was part of the corruption and now I want to be part of the solution. So, but you're not going to find that on mass media, and you're not going to find that on Google. And if you do find it on Google, that person might not be alive anymore.
And I did have one of those people on my show, and the content was pulled down within a half an hour, and I was given a ticket in the freedom of speech country.
Right? Right?
Well, Heather, here's a question that's coming to mind, and I could hear people watching you asking this. Your guides and all of the spiritual or the heavenly realm, all of the light and love angels, and why have they okay, have your guides told you why these systems were allowed to continue through so many generations? Because it seems like it's only our generation that's really waking up to this. And why? Were you told why?
That is a multi-leveled answer. So let me see. That may be a whole nother video, but first of all, what's coming in is, we're not the first generation. There's been people before, but they didn't have the access to get information out in a big way like we do today. So there are other people. There have been other people. Many of them. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. They just told me. JFK. JFK was trying to come out with truth. What happened to him? There's a lot of people in the public eye that are no longer here because they were trying to come out with truth. So many people were awake. We just didn't have this mass technology to get it out. There's a lot of people in Hollywood, which we'll just touch on. A lot of people, like you mentioned before, dying in bathtubs, dying of overdoses. If you do your research and not use a normal search engine, you'll find that they were getting ready to come out with a documentary. They were getting ready to go to court to share truth.
Yeah.
Come on now, right? So it's happening. It's been happening. But what they're saying is that okay, two things. Why is it allowed? Why has it been allowed? That's a deep answer, but high level. Allowed by who? We're going to assume God, right? So we are all here having an experience on behalf of the creator. The creator wants to experience that. I know this is really high level, but there's tons of books and there's tons of people that talk about this. The creator wants to have an experience. There is technically no good or bad, because when we die and we leave our body, the good and the bad people, we go back to being souls that are all love. So we're here playing a game. We're here playing a part. In one of my videos, I shared, they gave me the visuals of this, and we're basically playing a part in a play. This is an act in a play. We have a part. I'm playing Heather. You're playing Jennylyn. When we die, I'm not Heather or Jennylyn. I'm a soul that's all love, right? So it's allowed to happen here because there is no good or bad. We're experiencing certain things. Yes, there's horrible things that happen here, but we've all contracted to be here and chose to be here for it. Okay, and this is our planet has been trying to wake up, and the people on this planet, souls have been incarnating to this planet to help with this awakening, to get us back to away from this stuff. We're all living in harmony, and there isn't a group of people taking from everyone. So they're saying right now, this was allowed because ultimately what we're all doing here is trying to gain consciousness again. We're trying to remember who we are. We're trying to start remembering that this is all an illusion. This is a play. We have chosen to be in a play and forget our previous memories. And so this is all about waking up and remembering who we are. And what they're saying again now, and they always say this, it takes polarity to do this. I woke up in the beginning of 2020. The angels visited me and spoke to me for 3.5 hours, and I started channeling in 2020 with all of the chaos. They say chaos pushes people awake. So it's allowed because over centuries and centuries and centuries, more and more people are waking up while we're here on the planet, still alive in this body. And when we wake up while we're here, we can start all coming together to create the new systems and structures, so that if we choose to come back here, we are living more in a beautiful, loving environment versus a corrupt taking from us environment. But that has to happen through the push and pull of good and bad. Does that make sense?
It does. And so we're down to 5 minutes, but I want to ask you this. I don't know how quickly you could answer it. So then what does karma mean then? And what is karma? And the people who commit really heinous offenses to others, like what happens with them? They just go back to heaven and they get welcomed by Saint Peter, like everybody, all these Saint Peter jokes. I'm just kidding about that. But on a serious note, what is karma? Do you know?
Again, this is a whole nother video, but high level, I'm going to explain from what I understand through what I've channeled, okay? There is no good or bad. I know that's really hard because I'm an advocate. I'm a massive advocate. As you can see from my previous role, I fell on the sword and let my job go away, my corporate job, to save other people. I'm an advocate. So I've seen bad my whole life, but I understand now that this is what they say about karma. Karma is balance. All karma means is balance. When people say things like, oh, karma is going to get you, well, that's human terms. What they're referring to, what they don't realize, is that for every action, there is a reaction. If you throw a ball up, it comes down, right? If you harm someone, you're going to be harmed. If you steal from someone, something's going to be stolen. Now, again, I'm touching on a subject that might trigger a lot of people, especially religious people, but karma happens over lifetimes, okay? So someone who's bad, someone who is who hurts people, this is from what I've seen, and I've seen this in my clients' past lives. I've seen this for myself. If they are in a, again, touching high level, if they're in an extremely destructive life, they might have to have some type of loving rehab. They might not be incarnating back for a while. They might, but I have yet to see where this hasn't happened. They will incarnate, and then they will be on the other side of that pain. So if you abuse voiceless people in this life, guess what? You come back and you will be abused, because your soul says, I am going to experience that now, the other side of that. And remember, when we're out of this body, it's like a dream. It's like a distant dream. We go back home to being eternal beings. So we go, okay, let's look at all of our lifetimes as a whole, however many lifetimes we've had. What is the common themes? What are the things that I'd like to go back and work on again? What lessons do I want to work on? If I've had 50 lifetimes of, hurting people, it's now time for me to start experiencing what that feels like to be on the other side of that. That's what karma is balance. Does that make sense?
It does. So basically what you're saying is, at some point, whatever they're doing to other people in this lifetime, they are going to have to come back and be the person that they're hurting.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Because people are doing awful things to people, and if there's no karma, no good or bad, then there's no accountability. And if people know this, then you're gonna have more people committing heinous crimes against others.
It's if it doesn't happen in this lifetime, it's going to happen in multiple lifetimes. And now somebody might say, well, I don't care because I don't remember my past ones. I don't even know if I believe in that. That's fine. Test it out. You'll see on your own. In this lifetime, this is the other thing that they say is like, we'll just bring it down a level to people that are just not nice. They're cranky. They're angry all the time. A bad boss. You got a bad boss, right? He comes and he screams at you all the time. He makes you work late. He's just a bad person. Why do you think he's doing that? It's because he's miserable. He's a miserable person who probably hasn't healed his abuse from his childhood, right? There's some karma going on here in this lifetime alone, right? So I know it's a really, really big and deep topic that people have to really go into on their own, but this is where heaven and hell come in, right? When you look at religion, so they're the powers that were try to keep us all in line with the story of heaven and hell, because if we're scared in this lifetime of going to hell, then we won't question the system and we'll be good little soldiers. There is no hell. If you believe in hell, when you leave, you might experience something because we create our reality. That's a totally different reality. That's totally different. But there is no heaven or hell waiting for us. There's only heaven. There's only beautiful love, right? But when we leave, if we've caused pain, we on our own, I've seen this, on our own, we will say, I need to learn the other side of that. I need to learn the other side of that. And can I just give a quick example? I'll do a quick example. This is actually in a book. So there is, I can't remember the guy's name right now, but he wrote Destiny of Souls and Journey of Souls. This is the first book I read about this, and then I started channeling it for myself. This is what happens. The universe, your spirit guides will bring you what it is that you need to know to do what you need to do. There was a man who went under hypnosis. This was a hypnotherapist that stumbled upon lives between lives with his patients, and he hypnotized thousands and thousands of patients, and all their stories were very similar. This man came in his 40s, miserable, made tons of money, but he was so unhappy because his mother gave him up when he was a kid and he had not gotten over it. And his foster family who adopted him were really hard on him and he felt rejected. When he went under hypnosis, one of the lives that he saw was in a previous lifetime. He was like in a dictator role and his mother, who was a pauper, stole an apple or something. And the consequence for stealing was death. He allowed her to be put to death to hold his own power, to continue keeping the fear going, right? So that same mother said, I will be your mother in this lifetime and I will show you what it's like to be abandoned. And after he saw that, he basically healed his fear. So that's kind of how it works, right? And so that's what I do for clients when I'm channeling for them. Why have you experienced so much trauma? Why you've experienced like the same patterns over and over. When we can go back and I can see the past lives that facilitated the childhood they have, it heals, it helps people to heal so much faster than normal therapy because you can't get to the root. And it facilitates forgiveness because you can see that the roles people are playing in your life are to help you learn what you came here to learn. I know it's a lot.
We're out of time. Can you believe it? But I think we covered quite a bit of ground tonight. And I cannot wait for us to continue with the series. Heather, thank you so much. You did such a great job. And thank you for watching Conversations with Jennylyn. I always say I am not doing my show to be popular. Like Heather shared tonight, we've all come to the earth with different jobs or different journeys. And I really believe that mine is a humanitarian and a truth seeker. And I don't want to leave the planet the way it is. I would like to be the change that I want to see in the world. And since I'm powerless to do that because I'm just a one-man band, if I could help people to see the truth and make changes that will create a better world for those to come after me, then I feel that I've done a good job. And I thank you so much, and I will be back with Heather soon, and we will continue what we've started tonight. Thank you, and have a happy holiday. Bye. Thank you, Heather. Let me
Thank
just-
you.
Broadcasting from Silicon Valley, California, this is Conversations with Jennylyn.